Section 1.5, salary. The objective is to determine your salary per pay period. This section is different than the first lesson that we looked at in hourly pay, because when you get paid by the hour, every hour you work, you get paid that same amount. When you get a salary you get so much per year. So for me, I work on a salary. So for me, if I spend no time at home working versus 18 hours at home working, I get the same amount of pay regardless. So basically, I don't get overtime, I don't get anything extra. That's what I get. Essential question, think about this one. How could the number of times you're paid each year affect your budgeting plans? Well, if you're paid 12 times per year and you have payments that come out, you have to actually make those payments come out after you've gotten paid. If you get paid 24 times a year, again, your payments you have to actually get adjusted so that it comes after your paycheck versus before. If you only get paid once a month, maybe you'll burn out all your money before the end of the month. If you get paid twice, you have to make sure your payments that you have to pay don't take out all your money for those pay periods too. So the first thing I want to go over is when you get paid by salary, there's a number of different times of a year that you could get paid. So if you get paid monthly, you're going to get 12 paychecks. If you get paid annually, which of course would not be the way to go, annually you're going to get one paycheck because you get paid once a year. Weekly, there are 52 weeks in a year, so you get paid 52 times. Bi-weekly would be every other week, so that would be your 52 divided by 2, which is 26 times a year. Semi-monthly would be instead of 12 times a year, you're going to get paid every other month or 6. So 12 divided by 2, which is 6 times per year. So all of these are per year. Oops, I shouldn't have put that. 1 per year. 52 times per year. You'll want to know those. So at first, if you have a question on any of those, you might want to write them at the top of your paper so you can just quickly glance at them and then have them handy. Example 1, Tom is a website designer. His annual salary is $67,400. So this is how much he gets per year. They want to know what's Tom's monthly salary. So we look above, and there are 12 months in a year. So we're going to take that annual salary of $67,400, and we're going to divide it by 12 because that's how many times you get paid monthly. So 67,400 divided by 12. So this person gets 5,616.67. Now this one was 0.666, so the 6 rounds it up, and that's why I put 67 cents on that one. Make sure you're showing what you're doing as well. This one says, what is his weekly salary? So again, we're going to go back to that annual salary of $67,400, and we're going to divide it by weeks. So there are 52 weeks in a year, and we're going to divide those two numbers. And we get 1,296.15. If you have trouble rounding, I'm going to show you today how to set your calculator to round to 2 places, because that's what money rounds to. So make sure if I don't go over that, you ask. You might have a question about this weekly salary, and you might say, well, why can't I take the monthly salary and divide by 4? Because not all months have 4 exact weeks. Some have a few extra days and things like that. So there are exactly 52 weeks in a year. So when you find a weekly salary, you'll always want to go back to that annual salary first. The second example is a little bit harder. There's a little bit of algebra in there, but you don't have to use algebra on this one. We can do it in steps. Your current job as a wedding planner pays a monthly gross salary of $2,560. You're offered a new position as an event planner at a children's museum that pays $12.60 per hour, and then time and a half for anything over 40. how many hours of overtime per week would you need to work to earn the same amount of money as your current job? So the first thing we have to consider is the monthly gross salary of $25.60. We have to find out what that is annually. So let's go wedding. Okay, so if this person gets $2,560 per month, that would be $30,720. The other job is talking about weekly. So we're going to do what we just did. We're going to take our annual salary and divide it by 52 because that's how many weeks are in a year. So we can get them kind of on the same page. This person is going to get $590.77. We need to keep that in mind. The new job, so new, I'm going to just put new next to this one. They get $12.60 per hour. And for basically 40 hours a week. So I'm going to find out what that salary is just as a regular pay. They'll get $504. Now let's try to figure out the overtime part. Now it says, how many hours of overtime is there? So again, this is one where we don't have pay, regular pay, and then overtime pay and the total. We have our regular pay. We don't have the number of hours of overtime. So this is going to be one of those that we probably have to do some division in on this next step. So let's do this in steps. If the wedding planner gets $590.77 and your new job gets $504, how much is left for that overtime part? So I'm going to take $590.77 and subtract $504 from it to find out how much overtime money is left. The book did this one a little different. They did it kind of algebraically. You can do that if you want to. There is $86.77 left. So now let's work that overtime out. We have time and a half times $12.60. That would be this person's rate. Remember, with overtime, you take their rate times 1.5, and then you take it times the number of hours, and that equals our overtime pay, which we just found was $86.77. So $12.60 times 1.5 gives me $18.90. And then since the letter is on one side and the number is on the other, we're going to divide both sides by 18.9. So the number of hours is 86.77 divided by 18.9. It says 4.59. So again, on this one, we want to think, what quarter hour would that be closest to? Remember, we have 0.25 is a quarter. 0.5 is a half, and then 0.75 is the next one. Well, this is over a half, so we're going to round up for this one to 4.75 hours. Because if you round down, you're not really getting that full pay. It'd be a little bit less. And if you want to know exactly, you'd have to round up to the next one. So they would need 4.75 hours of overtime. Again, I did this in 2 steps. You can certainly do this with an equation and do it that way as well. But if you're not good at equations, I wanted to show you a different way. Please let me know if you have questions on that one. Let's look at number 3 on page 111. That's the other one that is going to be the most difficult. So let's set that up, and then you can solve it from here. So Mark earns $16.50 as a technician per month. So that's a monthly pay. His new job, $9.80 per hour. Time and a half for anything over 36. So make sure that you don't assume that it's always 40 hours. This time it's 36. how many to work the same amount as his current job. So again, this is weekly. We need to turn this monthly pay into an annual pay first and then turn it into weeks. 1650 times 12 is 19,800. And we're going to divide that by 52. Okay, I'll let you guys figure that out. The new job, $9.80 per hour, anything over 36. So we're going to find out how much he gets for a regular hour and then how much for overtime. 980 times 1.5 times the number of hours. Now, I'm going to let you guys finish the rest, so you're going to have to fill in these blanks and kind of work it the same as what we did and make this one equal to those two added together equal that one. So you can do it in 2 steps. You can do it as an equation. I'll leave that up to you. Come with any questions you have.